Bias is a horrible thing when playing the prequel of a much-loved game, and it reared its ugly head from the moment I stepped into Thief 2. Firing up the first mission, you hear Garrett's familiar voice give exposition about the story behind your objectives, but for me, this is where it nosedived. Your first foray into the world of Thief 2 has you sneak through a complex, knocking out guards with your blackjack on the way, then sneaking back out to signal an NPC, then following the NPC via the same path back into the complex, and then via the same path back out again, but this time with a damsel in tow. The premise for this inelegant level? There's a lock that Garrett can't pick. Really? Really? You bring along another thief, potentially jeopardizing your cover, all because Garrett, the master thief, can't pick a lock, despite breaking through identical doors just minutes before. This is not a good start. Already I can hear a shadowy figure in my mind whispering, "Deadly Shadows is better. Go play that instead. You know you want to." Fortunately, the mission design improves from there on in, and this is mostly due to the inclusion of mechanist technology. From what you can glean from the lore, the Watch have changed tactics in dealing with the city's thieves, targeting their fences instead. Bribing them by coin or sword to betray their regular customers, thieves are quickly becoming a dying breed. For this reason, Level 2 has you stoop to simple theft, skulking around dockyard warehouses to steal valuables. To remain undetected, you must utilize rooftops and rafters, and not just the shadows. This adds an element of danger that wasn't always present in the sequel. Instead of just relying on shadows as you do in Deadly Shadows, you must use cunning and speed. You feel like an entirely different breed of stalker in Thief 2. Each warehouse has a code, and you must sneak between gatehouses to punch in the code and the exposed, well-lit warehouse entrances to plunder their riches. You can enter the warehouses in any order and from any direction, and it's the multiple methods of approach that make Thief 2 shine. It's worth stopping here to analyse the mechanics and visuals of the game before I get too carried away with tales of daring do and supreme dexterity. For all intents and purposes, Thief is a 3D platformer, a game that is defined by the way a character moves in the space he finds himself in. Moving on foot does the job, walking with the WASD keys and holding sprint to move a little faster, but noisier and easier to see. It is the jump mechanic that a platformer sinks or swims on though, and unfortunately Thief barely keeps its head above the water. Jumping feels weightless, floaty and imprecise, a cardinal sin for any platformer, and it takes a lot of getting used to. It's especially frustrating when a mistimed jump can result in falling damage, or in the worst case scenario, detection. Should he be detected, Garrett is likely to die or at least lose a big chunk of health in a direct confrontation. Unless you quaff an invisibility potion, which is cheating, you have to run and hide until the guards are convinced you're gone. Hiding from guards is tense beyond words. Moving will likely reveal you, as will firing an arrow, so you're left holding your breath with guards sometimes inches away from your face. This is Thief at its best, dodging between shadows, always on the edge of discovery, always one step ahead of your pursuers. This sweet spot is occasionally marred by some interactivity issues, and the game could have done with a few more action hotkeys. The worst offender is right click, used to activate items in your inventory and open doors. This is a big problem when you've just picked a lock moments before a guard turns the corner. Attempting to open the door at this point winds up with you just poking the door with a lockpick over and over again until you scroll to an empty inventory slot. Not cool. And while on the subject of doors, if you're standing in any way close to a door when opening it, it will stop part way open, which you wouldn't think is a problem, but you don't get to open it further. Oh no, 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 no. You have to close it again, move, and then reopen it, like a normal person does, in real life. All these grumbles seem pretty damning for a stealth platformer, but Thief 2 is far from a bad game. The sprawling, complex, multifaceted level design of each mission far outweighs any of the issues mentioned. Finding a secret route around an otherwise difficult obstacle, or pulling off a plan timed to the last second, makes you feel clever in a way that games rarely do. This achievement alone is enough for me to recommend Thief 2 to you, and so I won't bother looking for another reason. Go and check it out. It's available for £6.50 on GOG.com, or strangely £4.99 on Steam. Since when was Steam ever cheaper than GOG.com? Or anything for that matter. Anyhow, enough rambling. I hope you've enjoyed this retro review. Go and check out Thief. This has been Westloar. Over and out.